So you may see your screen rattling and I may sound like a bit of an alien when I talk. Just these main roads, unfortunately, it's not just game drive vehicles going up and down on them. It's also the delivery vehicles, and when you drive a little bit faster than you should, you start to create these corrugations in the road. So that's what gives the little rattle and the strange sound of my voice. But we're going a bit slower now and I'm trying to avoid them. Only try my best. So I hope nobody gets nauseous while trying to focus and watch this. Oh, I need to maybe go to another channel so I can see what's happening and if there is anything happening on Cheetah Plains. Let's see it. Channel. I'll be able to start to hear voices. Not crazy voice in my head, of course. Just in case you were wondering. Let's go back to Jamie.
Alrighty, we're on an adventure as Taylor's signal starts to disappear. We are on Triple M and on our way to the south of the Arathusa airstrip. And the reason I'm doing that, and the reason I had my phone in my hand, is so that I can double check the position of a very special someone's collar. So there you go. The surprise will be, hopefully, that we are on our way towards young Sindile, the young male leopard with a tracking collar on him. And that's why I'm looking at my phone. It's not because I'm desperately attracted to the prospects of social media, which, as you know, I'm not very good at. I'm attempting to figure out where this leopard is. Oh, let's play a game. I think the only way I can do this is just have a look at this road. That's Flockfield. I have a horrible feeling this is not an Arathusa. Now that I've come here, maybe it is. Right. I need you guys to read the coordinates to me. It's the only way I'm going to be able to do this. I need you to read the coordinates so I can write them in my maps. Right. Minus 24. Got that. Because that's the same anywhere here. Doo-doo-doo. 7, 5. Cool, got it. And dun 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 dun. This is a new experience, isn't it? For all of us. Doo-doo-doo. The spinning wheel of death, everybody. The anticipation. Oh, wonderful. It says it's 2 directions. 9-minute drive. Uh-oh. That's not good. Where's the point? Show me the point on the map in relation to me. Please. Why? Oh dear. It's all gone disastrously wrong. There we are, everybody. As you can see, we're on a map. We're on a grid. It's worked the last time I did it with him. Okay, well, let's see if we're going in the right direction. Go, give me the directions then. Let's go! Onwards! I need to keep it off airplane mode so that I can go. Okay. It's telling me I can go on an 11-minute detour, or we can go the straight line, which is 9 minutes. So we'll go straight, shall we? And not the 11-minute detour. This is such a bizarre thing to do. Okay. Let's look for things on our way. No, it is on Arathusa. It is on Arathusa, everybody. I've just done some mental calculations, and we should be he should be just off our boundary. Actually, I better turn my radio onto the Arathusa Game Drive channel in case there's a whole load of people sitting there already, having found him the old-fashioned way. Alrighty. Well, I suppose I know where I'm going for now. I'll just, whoopsie, pop that there. I hope you're all keeping your fingers crossed. It's been a long time since we've had a chance to see Sindile. I'm very excited. I hope you are as well. So, for those of you who are new to this show and are wondering what on earth that was all about, that is not our standard way of finding animals, just so you know. This is a unique and once-off story where young Sindile, who is a young male leopard, just 2 years old, his mother Shadow left him and went off mating with another male when he was just about a year old. And he went hunting for himself, as young leopards do, and, you know, learning and experimenting. And unfortunately, very, very unfortunately, he happened upon a feral dog that had come in from one of the neighboring villages. And as it later turned out, that dog had rabies, and therefore Sindile was swept up into the arms of the conservation world and put into a rehabilitation center where he spent 8 months getting various inoculations and vaccinations and all sorts of things. He was then released back into the wild, into this area. We don't know exactly where, but he was released into this area, his natal area, where he was born, and he's been doing brilliantly ever since. He's been absolutely fine. You wouldn't know that he'd spent any time in captivity. He catches his prey, he wanders about, he walks all the way to Skukuza, which is in the middle of southern Kruger, and all the way back again. He is definitely a survivor, but he does have a collar on him for tracking purposes, for research purposes, and to allow the people in the know and the authority to keep an eye on his movements and monitor the way that he has responded to being released back into the wild. Fortunately for us, Terry Camacho is an incredibly lovely man, a very kind gentleman, and he decided to... Sorry, it's very cold. He has been very kind in helping us with Sindile's whereabouts. Oh, that is where we are going now. Hopefully. You know, a lot can happen on a cloudy day like today. When the animals move, especially leopards. Now this, as I said, is his natal range, so it's where Shadow had him, where she gave birth to him and where she raised him. And she's still in this area, and apparently she's with the Tingana at the moment on Arathusa as well. Now, when I can hear anything on my Game Drive channel, then I will attempt to find out where that is happening, and perhaps we will break a cat record. I don't usually bounce from sighting to sighting, so let's just see how we go. Let's try and spend a little bit of quality time with young Sindile. How are we doing, Matt? Okay. It says I'm halfway there. I'm about to... Oh dear, I hope we're going to get lucky with this. And the wind is attempting to blow my hat off as well. I'm just concentrating on getting us there. The quicker we do, the quicker we can start a search for him if he's not where his signal last said he was. Interesting. He goes on these little journeys and then he comes all the way back to a place he knows so well and grew up in. It is interesting. We're learning so much about the dispersal patterns of these males. Sorry, Impala, you're beautiful, but I'm ignoring you for now. Debbie, who wants to know when Sindile is going to start settling into a territory? And that's a really very good question. Because, of course, Kunuma and Florentine who are also young males, although they are 4 years old as opposed to 2. They've kind of established themselves to a degree, but the truth is they won't really have and hold a territory until they are a little bit older. So until they are roughly 6, maybe even 7, 8 years old. From the area, and it depends how many big leopards there are around and whether or not there is a vacuum for that young male to move into. So Sindita could be anywhere from 5 to 7 before he's able to acquire a proper territory. At the moment, Quarantine has a home range. He's not defending it. He's tolerated by Shimbambalana to an extent because he's not showing massive dominance behavior. Although they did have a growl at each other, so Shimbambalana is the dominant male leopard in that area. Okay. Oh no. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Our boundary is at that signpost. So unless this map has led us astray, he's outside of our boundary. After all that, oh dear, he's just there. Oh, what a pity. Ndile? I'm just looking to my side, hoping against hope that there are little leopard tracks coming across this road into our boundary. Let me double check this in case this map's a bit confused. Could happen. WildEarth. Yeah. Okay, the boundary's there. Yeah, monkey alarms. Oh, that's a good sign. So we're going to turn around very quickly because the boundary's there. I thought it was here. Okay, let's start racing towards those monkey alarm calls. I've got my warm jacket, so I'm wearing Brent's rain jacket, and it's not the sleekest thing I could be wearing. Okay. We won't tell anyone that happened. I was led astray. Okay, now I know I'm on safe soil. Where are these monkeys calling from? Ooh. There's a very good chance that it could be him. He could well have moved north. Oh look, the vehicle. Well, that's good news. We'll be able to get an update about what's happening. Also, that was really good timing. Let's find out if they haven't got him there, because there's a chance they might. Good afternoon. How's it going? How are you?
How long?
Oh, long time. No. I know you.
So what?
Yeah, we were just double checking. Apparently Nadiba's collar thing's just south of here. And we were hoping perhaps he might have decided. Here, hold on. I'll show you. Sorry everybody. Just got you. Everybody, Sean, wave hello to all the viewers.
Hello everybody.
It's roughly here. I don't have a road name, sorry, but he's roughly there.
Yo, we had lots of Impala calling off Central. It looks roughly there. Hey?
Yeah.
Maybe
Off Central we had Impala calling. It could be somewhere around there.
Okay, perfect. Alright, thanks. And Shadow and Tingana?
They're in a tree eating an Impala.
Perfect.
It's a hyena.
Whereabouts?
Zebra Drive, 2nd Windmill Junction.
Okay, cool. I might try and...
those chilalas are right there on the cut line.
Is it?
Lowveld Link Seep Line Junction.
Huh.
So could you cross over the cut line nicely into our side towards Central side maybe a bit later on in the afternoon.
Perfect. This is the place to be this afternoon.
Right.
Enjoy, everybody.
Thank you.
Have fun. Cheers, Ron. Thank you. Cheers, Reef. Bye. Sorry about that, everyone. Really, really important moment to just sit and catch up with Sean and find out exactly where everything is. And hopefully sending some of our viewers, many of our viewers actually, that old vehicle was a viewer vehicle, off in the direction of Bediba. Alright, I'm going to go and hop on the Game Drive channel, hopefully when I'm a little bit closer to all the things. Let's go back across to Cheetah and see how Cheetah Plains is looking.
So VM and I have arrived safely in Cheetah Plains. We are here at Djuma Dam at the moment, having a look. There doesn't seem to be too much around at the moment. However, we have picked up on some lion tracks. Now I'm trying to get an update. However, I don't seem to have signal at the moment. So I've got my finger very close on my radio, beeping it to myself every now and then, hoping that I'm going to get a little bit of signal. But we're going to try and follow these lion tracks and see where they go. No, Wendy, none of that. You've been behaving quite well. Just hear a little bit of talking on the radio, but not too much. I'm gonna have a look. Wendy, you can't stall every time. Wendy's liking the petrol today. She's obviously quite thirsty. No, come. Right. Now I can't see where these tracks went off to. Just going to have a quick little look around. Come Wendy, don't die. Just trying to double check. You also don't know how fresh they were. They were after the rain, so I think Cheetah Plains possibly had a little bit more rain than what we did last night. So maybe it was from early this morning. I can't see any tracks going up here. Perhaps we'll take this road and see where it takes us. Now VM also says that the Styx Pride enjoy this area. They quite like it a lot, so perhaps it's one of the females. Nothing yet. No one's talking to me just yet. I'm just going to take a little slow drive past the dam. Just checking. There's some rocks here, so it'll be a good place to stash some little cubs. No, doesn't look like there's anything here. It's very hard when you don't have communication all the time with the other rangers. That's why it's so important with these radios. We're able to help animal. Tracks. Maybe those tracks were from earlier this morning, and that's why most of them are driven over. We did see some that were right off the road. Obviously those ones will be preserved for quite a long time, but if the tracks are on the road, they don't last for too long. And this makes it, especially when we can't talk to anybody and we're trying to put together a puzzle. But we'll keep looking in this drainage line over here while we make our way to the Great Plains of Cheetah Plains. You hear a go-away bird shouting. What are you shouting at? Ooh, cool. Hang on. That's very cool. Does look quite big. It does look like a snake eagle. We've got a big... No. There it goes. That did in... Did you all see that? There it goes. That it very much indeed looked like a big brown snake eagle. It was huge. It was really big. Didn't get to look at it for too long, but that was quite a nice bird. If you haven't got brown snake eagle, add it to your list. And if it is a new bird for you, I'd like to hear from you. Let me know what number bird that is, or if you haven't started a list, I'd just like to know if you've ever seen one of them before. Very nice birds. Haven't seen one in ages. Right, who else? good afternoon, Zaki. Zaki from Kenya would like to know, how do you tell how fresh a track is? Whether it's a lion track or whichever track it may be. It depends on a few things. Obviously, you look at the weather. If it was raining the night before and you can see the footprint is under the raindrops, well then you know that it happened before the rain. If it's on top of the wet sand, like we very quickly saw with those lion tracks, then we know that it had happened sometime after the rainfall. But it is difficult though, because we're quite a distance away from Cheetah Plains, and the rainfall could vary quite a bit from what time it rained here to what time it rained when we had rained. So I'm very uncertain as to when that lioness walked in this area. You also look for things like at night you get scorpions and the millipedes that come out, though occasionally the millipedes are out during the day when it's nice and hot, and if you see their footprints going through their track, that's also a good indication. And then wind, obviously it's not very windy now, and there didn't seem to be very much wind in the track, but you can use that as well. We've got, I don't know what to look at, but let's look at the zebra, because we've got some impala as well, but they're moving off into the thicket. And I think this is a friendly zebra. This one is not running away from me. I'm totally shocked. I hope I haven't jinxed myself. Oh, look at this unusual pattern on its head. What is wrong with your face? Now you'll see what I mean when he puts his head up. Stained yellow. Keep your head still. We're trying to show everybody your face, your unique marking. Perhaps it will come around now. No, you're going to give us your bum. And just one zebra. I don't see any more zebra. No, it's not going to turn around. Either looks like it's perhaps rubbed its head on something and got a bit of bark or something stuck on its fur, or maybe it's just bleached that color. But now, of course, this female zebra is not looking at us. We've been talking quite a bit about how zebras resemble horses, and I'm sure a few of you are wondering why zebra have really never become domesticated. I know Miss Jamble, who is a new viewer and is watching for the first time, congratulations and thank you for watching. I hope you continue to watch the show. Now, one thing about zebra is that their backs aren't as strong as horses, so they're quite useless in the sense of being able to ride them or to be able to tow and pull a cart. They haven't got the very strong backs, and also their temperament is very much different to a horse or even a donkey. They can be nasty pieces of work, I'm afraid. It can be quite tough. They're very cheeky. If you know horses and you know the attitude of a pony, that is particularly a mare, times that by about 10, and that is the behavior and the attitude of a normal zebra. They're very cheeky. They kick, they bite really badly. Now you can see that patterning. It actually looks like it's just been bleached. That seems to be the color, the unique patterning on this mare's forehead. Now those are the main reasons why we don't use them. I know a few people who unfortunately fortunately have got big game reserves, big game farms with lots of different animals on them, and in two different occasions the mares have died and they've managed to save the foals, and then they tried to hand rear them. Disastrous. I was kicked, I was bitten. They are terrible. So they were great for the first few months of their life, and then they work out that they can be bigger than stronger than you, and that's when the disaster sets in. So I would not recommend trying to domesticate a zebra. It doesn't work. Ooh, good Wendy. I'm just going to have to rev Wendy a little bit more than I normally do. Alright, goodbye zebra, thank you very much. We're going to continue on. Oh, hang on, I need to reverse. I think I possibly had some signal. Let's go back. I thought I saw I had one bar, and then I got too excited because Wendy went without stalling. Ooh. So while I'm looking for signal, just quickly, that doesn't really work. Okay, no signal. Now this is what happens, is you see all these lovely bloopers that normally would have been cut out if it was a pre-recorded safari, but it's not, it's live. So you see when I sneeze, when I laugh, when I do all these wonderful and amazing things. So So if you'd like to interact with us, because I believe there's quite a few new viewers today, which is fantastic. So you can hashtag Safari Live on Twitter, or you can send us an email, questions@WildEarth.tv. And myself and Jamie, we're happy to answer any of your questions. I think we're going to carry on straight. I haven't seen, as I said, that I think I saw a lion track, but let's not get too excited. It could just be a tire tread. It's probably just a tire tread. It's a tire tread with an impala footprint over the top of it. Right, not quite what we're looking for. And I'm still looking to see if I get that 1 bar of signal, to see if I can communicate with everyone. And now I need to quickly remove this branch that the elephants have very kindly deposited in the road. You'll see it now as I get out. I'm just going to drag it very quickly. It's a big one. Now it's stuck. Come on, tree. I don't know how the elephants do it, everybody, because it's proving to be quite difficult for me. Now I'm going to have lovely dirty hands, so I hope you all enjoy looking at that. Quickly move that lovely branch out of the way. Sometimes I wonder if the animals do things like that on purpose and deposit branches just to make us laugh. They particularly like to deposit branches on the roads, especially when you've just when you've just cut all the branches nicely so that they don't protrude in the road anymore. Then they come through and they really do just have a good laugh at you. Right. BM, are we close by to those plains? I've only been here once.
Yeah.
Not far. Probably only maybe about between 5 and 8 minutes away, I would guess. No signal yet. Ooh, pond of water with nothing in it. I'm even starting to feel a little spit of rain. Little tiny droplets, nothing to worry about though. And that sounds about right because I washed my hair today, everyone. So normally when I wash my hair, we will get rain. VM says he also washed his hair, so we're probably going to get a torrential downpour tonight. Nothing here. Lots of impala footprints. Hopefully Norman the Gnu is going to be on the plains. And while I try and search for Norman the Gnu, let's go back to Jamie and see where she is.
You won't believe what I just saw accidentally. It was an accident, completely an accident. I was driving along Arathusa's boundary, and who should pop up out of our view but the Salala lions, a pride of lions that we have not seen in a very, very long time. Now you might be wondering why I'm not with them, and I do apologize. There is a whole queue of people waiting to see them. They haven't seen lions in this area for ages, and I accidentally bumped it. I didn't know it was there. I just came around the corner and they were a couple of roads down. Oh, exciting prospects for us. We're probably not going to get to see them on the sunset safari this afternoon, but on a dark, cool, stormy night tonight, who knows where they may end up tomorrow, and perhaps they'll finally return back onto Arathusa, and we'll have a chance to see a pride of lions that I haven't seen in I think my last time that I saw those lions was in October, when they chased Tingana and Karula up trees. Unless I'm very much mistaken, that was the last time I saw the Salala pride. It's consisting of the lioness without a tail, which is a very peculiar looking thing, lioness without a tail, 3 young males and 1 young female. Oh, fingers crossed everybody that they find the motivation to come just that little bit further north, and we'll have a chance to see them. I did get quite a surprise though. I just came around the corner and all of a sudden there were a whole load of vehicles and these lions. Anyway, I have popped myself on the waiting list to see the Queen's daughter, Shadow, and her gentleman friend, Tingana, the 2 leopards, so we should get a chance to see them sharing a kill not too far away from where we are now. So there you go, exciting stuff. All in all, I think it was a good idea to come across this side. I'm hoping I haven't crossed the boundary yet, because on the a little bit out of where I should be. Where am I? Nobody knows where I am. Ah, that's unfortunate. Hi! Hello everybody! How's it? How are you? What road am I on?
Hello?
What road am I on?
This is Catline.
It is Cutline. Okay, good. That's what I thought I was,
Okay,
but I had a moment of panic.
Cool.
Cool.
Where
Thanks,
you heading
guys.
up to?
I'm gonna head up to Shadow and Tingana. Cool.
Click on
I accidentally bumped the Solalas. Had no idea where they were.
Okay, cool.
Cool. Enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Hi. Phew. We're still on Arathusa, everybody. We're not if we turn left, but we're not going to. We're going to turn right. This is a corner of Arathusa that I have not been to in a very, very long time. Right on the southern boundary, close to the corner. I'm impressed with Rusty's signal, because that's the reason why we often didn't come in this direction. Because Rusty didn't have signal. And the reason I actually came here was because of those alarm calls that Chandra heard. I'm starting to wonder if they weren't at those lions getting up and moving around. Sean also said he heard some. And unfortunately for us now, we'll just have to wait until we have a chance to see Sindile. Hopefully he decides to come north as well. So we've got two things to hope for, the Solalas and Sindile, both of whom must come north. All of whom must come north. Okay. I'm going to have to concentrate on getting us to the sighting, so I'm going to send you back across to Taylor, who's got something exciting to show you.
I am having an elephant day today, as you can see, with all these wonderful elephants. It's quite a nice herd, and they all kindly have grouped together for us. You can see lots of babies. Hello, elephants. I don't know the Cheetah Plains elephants very well. Hello, Ellies. So I'm just talking to them. It sounds very silly. However, I strongly believe... Oh, look at that little one reaching for the leaves. I strongly believe that elephants can understand the tone in our voices. So if you speak calmly to them, I think that they become calmer. And if you shout at them, especially if it's a naughty elephant bull, they know that you're angry with them. Look at this little one. Now this elephant is showing off, and I presume because Mom is close by. Come on, you can give us a mock charge. It's okay. We'll have a good chuckle. And I can't believe that this little elephant over here is eating the guarri leaves. There's nice green grass on the ground. Don't eat those leaves. They don't taste very nice. They're very bitter. Let's see if this elephant pulls the same face as I did when I ate the guarri leaves. They seem to be extremely hungry as well. They've all got their heads tucked into the bushes, pushing trees over, as I'm sure you can hear the crunching in the background. But I can't take my eyes off of this little one. It's a lovely breeding herd, and they seem to be very relaxed. They looked a little bit agitated when we first arrived, but now they seem to have settled down quite a bit. Hear the guinea fowls calling in the distance, and maybe a bit far away, but I can hear them calling. It's nice to see so many youngsters in a herd as well. Lately we've been seeing a lot older calves. There seems to be lots of little ones around there. Now, looking at all these different elephants that we see in a herd, they are all of various ages, of course, and of course they are either male or female. Now, Jennifer wants to know, can you tell the difference between a male baby elephant and a female baby elephant, or is it only with the adults? Now, Jennifer, it's a lot easier with the adults because their features seem to be more defined. So the main ways that we're looking at is we're looking at the heads. So the females have got very sharp, very square heads, and the males have got rounder heads. Now, when they're quite young, it is difficult to tell. So what I like to look at is I like to look for their genitalia. That's probably the easiest. Obviously, they won't have any mammary glands. But these two little tiny tots, that older one seems to me like it could be a female, possibly. But we'll have to have a look when it comes out. But those two little ones, The one on the right looks like a little girl. Can you see that little one, that little bum there? That looks like it's a girl. And then the one on just on the left of that, I think it was a little boy. I think I remember seeing that it was a boy. Let's see. Turn around. Yes, it's a little boy, as you can see there. You're having a little smell. And off they go. As quick as they were munching and devouring that tree, they're now moving off. And there are elephants around us, but they're quite a nice distance away from us. So don't worry, I'm not panicked about Wendy not being able to start. She seems to be behaving for the moment. Touch wood. I'm just going to tap my head because I've got nothing wooden. Oh, no, I do. Touch wood. I don't want to jinx her. But they are also very relaxed with us, and I won't let these elephants get too close to me. Little bums. It's just amazing how tiny they are, but then how quickly they grow as well. Now you should be able to hear lots of guinea fowl calling in the distance. Can you all hear that? I hope you can hear that. Now, we've actually got quite a nice setup over here. We've seen all the adults, all the females with their calves, and now, VM, can you see straight in front of us? There's some elephant bulls that I want to show all of you. Can you see them straight down there? And this is quite nice to actually see the structure of a herd. They seem to be bulls. And hopefully if they get a bit closer, we'll be able to have a better look. Now, normally the younger bulls live around between 18 and 22 years old, somewhere around there. They tend to be quite cheeky, and they tend to follow the herd still when they indeed would have been pushed out. Yes, that's a boy. So these two are obviously trailing the herd. Maybe there's one or two females in this herd that are coming into estrus again, and they've maybe picked up on her scent and are just tailing around, and they're coming closer and closer. But if they do come into the middle of the herd, the mothers are going to be very cross and probably try and chase them away. But for the moment, they seem happy and content. The boys are still in the distance. Looking for those lovely new green shoots that are coming out on all of these trees, but they're not really giving them a chance, unfortunately. Because as these new green leaves are coming out, just as quick as they're growing, the elephants are eating them, as you can see. And that's what I suppose that the plant life relies on, is that the elephants will come through an area, eat as much as they can, and then they'll move off. And perhaps they'll only come back and visit this area again in a few months' time. And then hopefully that would have given the vegetation an opportunity to restore itself. Look at these two naughty elephants. These two look like they should have spray paint cans. Oh, there's a guinea fowl in their trunks. They look. Oh, there you go. That one's going to chase the guinea fowl. They just look like they're naughty. They're sort of acting like those young lion cubs were this morning and the other afternoon, going on their own walkabout. We don't need mum anymore. We're old enough. That one's going in, definitely going in to chase the guineas now. Must be quite a few of them around here. I can hear them calling in the distance, and obviously the ones we saw that the elephants were slightly chasing are racing off to respond to the calls in the distance. Mom marching off now. Where are you going? Let's see, little one's going to follow, not sticking around to play. Oh, my goodness. Mom did not like that youngster. I don't know what that youngster did. That wasn't very nice. That was quite rude. Did she just push him away so that she could be feeding on that tree? That's horrible. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Very disappointed in that elephant. But I suppose that's how it goes. Size does matter when you're in the bush. And that's why I think elephants are the king of the savannah, because they are the largest. We're going into lots of trouble. Now they're all coming back. You can see how their ears are flared, their tail is stuck up. And that's an agitation sign. It's got nothing to do with us. I'm not sure what's lurking in the bushes that gave them a fright like that they're coming to run back. There's just some guinea fowl, really, that are racing around. And I don't think a guinea fowl is quite scary enough for an elephant unless it gives it a surprise. Now we've got Mom, who is not being very nice. And that behavior is normal, though, how they chase all the youngsters around. It's probably Mom, it might not even be her older calf, she's just reprimanding it for whatever it did wrong. I didn't see any particular behavior. That one wasn't pushing around any of the youngsters. It seemed to actually be minding its business. So I do think that it was purely just, I'm going to get the best food source, and you can go and eat something else. The little one copying Mom. And it seems like the older calf, and just to the left as well. Nice little family that we've got. We've actually got some of the bulls moving in now. Let's have one little look at these male elephants coming in. I just want to show them that they are tailing. They're getting much closer now. See that? Here they come. I think we're going to have a little bit of action. We're possibly going to stay with them a little bit longer. But while I follow up on the story of the elephants, Jamie's got the spotted cat that I've been looking for the entire afternoon.
It might not be the spotted cat that we set out to find, but it is definitely a lovely sight to behold. And it's not just one spotted cat, it's actually 3 spotted creatures that we have here. Tingana on top of the tree with his impala prize, a big impala ram. And then at the base of the tree, on one side, we have a spotted hyena hidden behind the branches, waiting patiently for any scraps that might happen to fall out of the tree. Hello. There you go. Spotted hyena's up. And then, on the other side, but unfortunately without us having a very good view, is Shadow lying up on the other side of the turnip mound. There she is. Just a pile of spotted fur. We have got lots of other vehicles in this sighting, so that's why I'm keeping my voice down. Hello, Shadow. And now we've set the scene, let's go back to the leopard on top of the marula tree. He has picked a perfect spot to hide his prize. That is one very full belly. He's definitely had quite the meal, which is fantastic news, considering the last time we saw Tingana, he was looking particularly thin, probably one of the thinnest I've ever seen him, in desperate need of a meal. Apparently he has been successful, back to the plump male leopard that we've come to know and love. Not plump, plump is not there, but he's definitely a massive male leopard. So what an incredible afternoon we have had. I know it's not Sindile, but this is definitely wonderful. And crunching away using that carnation. Our Tingana, sorry, I was going to move, but I'm not going to now. So guys, Tingana is the perfect example of a male leopard in his prime. We were talking about when a male leopard is big enough to compete for territory, what age Sindile would establish a territory. Well, Tingana, at 9 years old, it must be maybe 10 now. When does he turn 10? Or has he already turned 10? We don't actually know, do we, with Tingana? I'm not sure his birth month is recorded. He is definitely a male leopard who has gained and kept a territory of a massive size. You can see he's basically all head and shoulders, hardly any neck. His neck is just one massive dewlap, powerful and muscular. Beautiful. With his scar still across the front of his nose. Bless you, Chandra. Our cameramen are very good at holding in sneezes when they can, but sometimes every now and again one escapes. I think Tingana's got really beautiful rosettes as well. Look at that perfect, sorry, that was just a random side comment. Look at that perfect poise and balance as he maneuvers himself away around the marula tree to feed off his kill. Have you got space there? Perfect. Very well, thanks. How are you? Oh, this is magnificent. Bless you, Chandra. Shame, he's so zoomed in, there's nothing you could do about it. Cat's allergies. Chandra says he's just had too many cats this drive. His allergies are playing up. From the lions to the leopards. It's definitely been a cat-filled afternoon. Now, the last time I saw Tingana, he was, as I said, looking quite thin. He had just broken off a dalliance with Shadow once again. And when leopards mate, for the most part, they are pretty much entirely preoccupied with each other. They only have eyes for each other, they very, very seldom feed, and the female makes sure that the male is kept busy pretty much every couple of minutes. At least every 15 minutes, but it's usually shorter intervals between their mating periods. Now imagine them having to do that for 5 to 7 days, and can understand why Tingana was probably feeling a little bit peckish and perhaps not quite himself. The distraction that Shadow provided meant that he was definitely in the mood for some dinner. So he'd left Shadow when we last saw him, and we followed him through the bush, and he was desperately hunting but not successful. Oh, somebody's up. Collecting the scraps that are falling from the impala. I know this hyena. I definitely recognize this hyena. It's one of the Elephant Plains clan's hyenas. Look how fluffy it is. Unbelievably fluffy. This might be the fluffiest hyena I've ever seen. Weirdly. That's incredible. Leopards and hyenas are actually quite comfortable in each other's space, provided that there's a good tree to climb, and provided that they don't have to really properly argue over food. Now, if Tingana were to drop this kill, the hyena would be on it in a flash and racing on, although it already looks as though it's had a good meal anyway. Quite a round-bellied hyena. I can't get over how fluffy that hyena is. So if Tingana were to lose his grasp on that impala, were to go tumbling down, he could probably match that hyena in terms of physical strength just because of his size. And as you can see, the impala's pretty stable in its place for now. But Tingana could probably, pound for pound, match that hyena and the speed, although generally leopards don't pick fights with hyenas. They're a little bit lower in the predator hierarchy. Goes up. Sorry. First time we've seen her up. Here she is, poking her head up, looking up towards Tingana. Sorry, so what I mean by that, Eileen, is beautiful. Look at that. Wow. So leopards are not cooperative hunters. They don't know really how to cooperatively hunt. So if two leopards did happen to kill something, and I heard about a mating pair bringing down a baby giraffe once, if they did happen to do it, it'd be almost by mistake. Kind of like one went for it and the other instinctively acted on the killing bite, grab to the throat or grab to the back of the neck or something similar. Now guys, we've actually got a really, really limited time period with these animals, and that's just because there are quite a few people that desperately want to see a scene just like this. So we've probably got another 4 or so minutes, and then it is time for us to leave and to let somebody else have a turn. Hey, Tingana. Looking good, boy. You are definitely looking much better than when I last saw you. Probably throughout this kill, when they've been feeding, Tingana probably won't have let Shadow feed on all that much. The leopards will let others share, but not necessarily to the point that, especially when there's a large male with a hungry belly, it might actually take a long time for him to decide to do that. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. The hyena, it's such a typical African shot. The leopard in the tree, looking down with disdain upon the spotted hyena. Destined to always remain patient and without any tree climbing skills. I love how this hyena's here. It's not even that hungry, actually. It's perfectly positioned in case of a chance of fortuitous good luck. I'm sorry. This really is the fluffiest hyena I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. Oh, big yawn. It has been an exhausting day waiting for food to fall down in front of you. Yes. No, really. That is ridiculous. It might be the fluffiest hyena I've ever seen in my life. And as I said, Tingana, safely up in the tree. Disdain. Isn't this just, you are all absolutely, I think, gobsmacked by of course. We have to make space for other guests as well. Sorry, I'm just communicating with somebody else. I'm just telling one of the other guides that I'm okay with him to drive in front of us. He's being very kind and respectful. Right. So a truly spectacular scene. In the last few times that I've seen Tingana, he's been up a tree, a marula tree. Once when he stole Karula's kill, and then the wild dogs came and chased him all up trees. Once when he was chased up the trees by hyenas. If you cast your mind back to the next day after the sighting of the wild dogs. And then, most recently, whilst Jandre was away, which is one of the reasons why I'm telling the story, so I can tell Jandre about him and make him jealous, was we were with Tingana, and as we'd sent you back across to Taylor, as we sent the viewers back across to Taylor, this lioness came out of nowhere and proceeded to chase him up the marula tree. Dave's camera work was absolutely amazing, considering we were off air and it was a total surprise. And she proceeded to chase him, almost caught him, and he performed the most incredible leap of almost a leap of faith into a marula tree. Bless you, Jandre. Anyway, he went to the top of the marula tree and just looked really, really sad. She tried to climb after him, but didn't have much in the way of success. And that, of course, is where a leopard truly comes into their own, with that ability to climb far better than any of our other big cats. And isn't this a perfect setting? I hope you're taking lots of screenshots, because this is a sight we don't want to ever forget. Absolutely spectacular. Let's take a moment to take it in. Now, Green Eyes, unfortunately, we don't have a view of the hyena anymore that we can get. So I know you have a question about the hyena, so we'll have to answer it looking at one really full leopard instead of looking at the hyena, which I suppose works just as well for the purposes of your question. And Green Eyes wanted to know whether or not I think that hyena is pregnant or just really full. It's very rather than pregnant, just in terms of the shape. Sorry guys, I've got lots of people calling me on the game drive comms. waiting for their opportunity to come in. So in terms of the shape and where the food sits, look at where Tingana's belly is. It's difficult to tell though. It is really, really difficult to tell with hyena, especially because I've noticed with a lot of older females, their bellies, the muscles of their bellies actually almost herniate and split, and they get a lot of a sort of a middle-aged or a droop, a sag around the middle portion of their bodies. And I think it's just from pregnancy and from repeatedly gorging themselves. And I think it causes that muscle lining to tear. And it happens with female leopards as well. They get a little bit saggy. Gorillas are a little bit saggy in that area. Unfortunately, this is going to be our last view of this amazing sighting. It's time for us to go, but we're going to send you back across to Taylor, who's got a sight for sore eyes on a peaceful evening.
We are still with this wonderful herd of elephants. They have turned out to be quite spectacular animals in this particular breeding herd. They are so relaxed with us. Now it is starting to get a little bit dark and we are very far away. And just because it's getting quite thick, I don't think I'm going to use infrared this evening on the elephants. I think we'll probably give it a skip just because I don't want to disturb them too much with them moving into the dense thicket. But those young bulls that I was telling you about, they've come through now too. Possibly, I think let's reposition so we can have a look at that one big elephant bull who's deciding to come out. Though he's not ginormous, but he definitely doesn't belong in the herd anymore. And he's being quite naughty. He's actually keeping his distance. And I think one or two of the females have been eyeing him out. So let's go down into this little dip. Oh, I can see an elephant dragging a big branch. Let's have a look at them. They're lovely boys. I'm quite a fan of the elephant bulls. Let's go stealth mode. Now, this is not an elephant bull. This is a female elephant that we've seen dragging a branch. But the elephant bull is trashing some trees just behind her. There you can see his rump. They're still all feeding in this area. Completely devouring anything that crosses their path, and then they most likely move on, like I said, for a few weeks, maybe a few months before they come back here. No one's found something delicious. What are you eating? Leaves? Are you eating bark? I can't quite see anymore. And with this other Ellie over here, this lovely cow. She's munching away. Now this is a perfect example. You can see straight away that she's a female, firstly from her head and then her mammary glands. That's quite nice. I wonder where her calf is. Must be on the other side with all the other ones having a play just before the sun sets. It's getting dark so quickly, I'm afraid, this evening with all that cloud cover. You can see it's quite thick there. A little bit of light coming through, but not too much penetration from the light. Not even any crepuscular rays, I'm afraid. Oh, they've all got swords this evening. Come on, battle it out. I'm a big Star Wars fan. No, not going to battle it out. Just removing it so it can eat the roots. So I know you hear us all chatting away so much about the elephants eating roots, but don't worry, it'll change in summer. We'll be talking about how the elephants only eat grass all the time, so there will be a change eventually. Oh, look at this one trying to stand on top of it and break it. Almost. Just a little bit left. Oh, lift that foot a little bit higher. There we go. That's better. He got a bit of leverage, and he got the stump he was looking for. Very nice. Now we're looking at this elephant munching away. Let's see if we can see her teeth, because I know Cindy from Florida was wondering how many teeth does an elephant have. I'm trying to think how many individual molars they have. I'm just trying to picture an elephant's jaw in my head very quickly. I think they have about between 8 and 10 molars. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going to give a guess. Cindy, so I think between 8 and 10 molars on each side of their mouth, top and bottom jaw, and they have 6 sets of these molars that come through. So quite a few teeth. You can hear it crunching away. If you keep crunching on those hard bits of wood, you're going to burn through a set of teeth very quickly. We better hope some more rain comes along. Now it's getting very dark. I'm going to have to leave these elephants soon, but we're going to watch them just for a little bit longer. I just find it amazing at the strength of an elephant. I mean, you saw how I struggled to drag that branch, and that was probably about the same size as this one. And she picks it up and throws it around like it's a toothpick. They should have trained elephants to throw javelins. I reckon they would have done a good job, or shot put. They would have been fantastic athletes. Here we go. You twist and you throw that around. As long as you don't throw that on me, young lady. Oh no, please don't throw that on me. You keep eating that. Oh, lovely. She's positioning herself so nicely. Look at that. You crunch that root. Let's have a listen. Yeah, crunching. Now she's also trying the foot technique. She wants to try and get a bit of leverage. There we go. Obviously that root is quite flexible. She is so enjoying it. That's the happiest I've seen an elephant. That and when they're in mud. But her whole facial expression looks so relaxed. There we go. Got the bit that you were after. And thank you for being so relaxed with us, lovely lady. I'll keep doing rain dances just for you. Lovely and peaceful this evening. You can hear the cicadas starting to call in the distance here. The guinea fowl setting off their last calls for the evening. Now I'm just waiting for the francolins to start their chorus. Yep, and the beetles have already started. Fantastic. Hello, girl. Now there's another elephant that would let off a little rumble. So that reaction that she's doing, it's got nothing to do with us. She's just listening. Hey, big girl, see how she's now moving away in the direction, just to give you an idea of how close she is. She's right there. I could basically reach out and touch her, but I'm not really touching her, of course. She's a bit far away. Amazing. She heard that rumble. Now, I don't think it would have been loud enough for you to hear, but she immediately responded to that, where those rumbles were coming from, as if the matriarch had said, right, team, let's move out. And off she goes into the distance. I think that's unfortunately the end of the elephants. I don't want to bother them too much while we don't have very good light, and they are moving into some thick vegetation, so I don't think it's going to be a good idea to try and bother them too much with the infrared. Well, and while I slowly start making my way back from a Cheetah Plain, let's go back to Jamie and see how her afternoon is going.
Aha! So, I hear that yesterday evening I missed out on quite the chameleon competition, and apparently Taylor won that competition by an interesting means, and she drew her own chameleon and pinned it to a tree. And I saw the drawing, and I have to say I'm terribly impressed with her artistic abilities. It definitely looked like a chameleon, which is probably better than I could have done. Alright, so as we head off into the evening, speaking of chameleons, it is of course the time of day where all sorts of wonderful and mysterious creatures come out to play. I'm hoping for a chameleon, but it's a little bit chilly this evening. They are reptilian and therefore ectotherms, and therefore, like all of our reptiles, or most of our reptiles, I've got to be careful there, they are not really animals that appreciate it when it gets too cold, because they get slow and sluggish and just generally not very energetic. Alright, there's a kudu racing across the road in front of me. I think, because our timing's going to be perfect, I think tonight, since our chameleons are going to be slow, sluggish and not moving out into the outside of the branches, I think we're going to go and check our bush baby nest on Zoe's Road. If I get my speed right, we should actually get there at the perfect time when our little bush baby might be thinking about going out and seeking the insects and the various tree sap that he can find. And those of you who are regular viewers will know the nest that I mean. It's a beautiful circular hole that looks as though it were man-made, but it is not, of course. It was constructed by something else, something animal-based, perhaps a bird. In fact, most likely a bird, but it has become a bush baby dwelling, and that's where we're going to go now. And we will return to Arathusa at some point in the hope that Sindile and the Tsulalas have crossed to the north. And actually, you know what, a cold evening might not be terribly good for chameleons, but it's certainly good for creatures of the mammal variety. Things like white-tailed mongoose, aardvark, porcupine. I say that really hopefully every single day. And it never quite works out that way, but you never know. If I say it often enough, eventually it'll come true. But they do come out a lot earlier on summer evenings when they're overcast and the weather is cool. Oh, sorry, Gendre. I did not expect that bump at all. It was hidden. They'd fixed that road, and obviously with the rain it had washed away the sand that they'd put in. It was hidden, so I nearly threw poor Gendre off the back of the vehicle. Sorry. There's an angry silence in the back. Not at all. Oh, Brianna, it is lovely to have you on board our sunset safari as we trundle along, making our way towards the bush baby nest that I was talking about. You've got a general question on tracking down and finding the animals, and you want to know, is this a skill that takes a long time to master, and is there a thrill to the hunt and tracking down and following the trail of an animal? And yes, absolutely there is. I'm going to pull off the road because there's a car coming, and I'm hoping this maybe wasn't the best spot, but I'm trying to get the sunset or a little bit of the color of the clouds. It's going to be very tricky from where I've put you though, isn't it? Sorry, just bear with me one moment because there is another vehicle on its way past. I'm hoping I've given them enough space while we answer the question about tracking. It takes to truly master it, and I don't claim to have truly mastered it at all. That is something that takes a lifetime of dedication. Just like anything, from playing a musical instrument to nuclear physics. It was a strange example, it was the first one that jumped into my head though. And anything in between, mastering a skill like that is something that does take a considerable period of time. Now don't stop please, you can come. Oh dear, we find ourselves trapped in one of those awkward moments where somebody thinks we're looking at something and then doesn't want to come and approach us in case they disturb it. We were looking at something, but it's the sunset, it's not going anywhere. Well, it is, but not due to any vehicle activity. Okay, there's no way to get around this. I was trying to show you the sunset, so do we enjoy it? Yes, absolutely. There is nothing quite like that feeling of tracking down and finding something after hours of work. It's always incredibly, incredibly exciting, and it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't have to be a leopard, although they're probably one of the hardest ones to track. It can be anything out here, and there is just something about that feeling and working really hard to find them, which is why, as wonderful as Sindile's collar is, I always prefer tracking something down myself, looking for their footprints, following it in the sand. Following GPS points is not quite as, the challenge isn't quite there. Not that we're not, I mean, it's different with the case of Sandile because we're always thrilled to see him. Thanks very much, guys. Good evening. How's it?
Good evening.
Thanks, you too. Hi. Shame. He was being so polite. It's the danger of moving out of someone's way too early. Right. Tracking down things? Absolutely. Now Herbie, who's our tracker and our sort of eyes and ears when we do bushwalk, I know that he absolutely loves it. It's a joy and a passion. I don't claim to, and I don't think any of us claim to be master trackers. We might be we're good at certain things. We're good at tracking certain things. Sometimes we get it right. But we certainly wouldn't consider ourselves master of the art form. But Herbie definitely, I know, every time he goes out tracking, he gets incredibly excited and he gets so disappointed when he doesn't succeed. Absolutely devastated. But I understand it, because I know what it's like when you come around the corner and there in front of you on the road are tracks, crisp, clean, fresh. And the thing that's magical about tracking is it's like reading the newspaper. It tells you all about what's happened on that road that day. And piecing together the clues is, you can almost, after a while, when you start to see tracks enough, I can almost picture the animal in a sort of a ghost form in front of me, leaving those footprints in the sand. And it's always incredibly exciting when you see a fresh set and go, oh, that animal's so close, I know it's so close. It's just a matter of finding it. And sometimes it happens quickly. You go around the corner, you see fresh tracks, you go around the next corner, and oh, there it is. And sometimes, as I said, it takes hours. And we obviously can't, while we're doing these live safaris, we can't disappear for hours at a time. The other person would be terribly miffed, and FC would start to worry terribly. Rebecca would be frantically calling us, wondering if we're okay. So we don't want to worry the directors in final control, so we don't disappear for hours at a time. Especially if that worry were to turn to wrath when they discovered where we'd gone. We might find ourselves in deep trouble. But it is something that we do occasionally do, what we do whenever we can, and it's extraordinarily satisfying. It can also be one of the most frustrating things in the world. When it doesn't work out the way you planned, or the way you'd hoped. Trying to solve a puzzle, but not having enough pieces to fit together. And it's only going to get more difficult as we go into summer. Ground is wet, the vegetation is dense, the animals are more spread out. But that's fine, it's all part of the fun, it's all part of the challenge of the whole deal. Sherlock Holmes would be proud. The cicadas are unbelievably loud tonight. I'll stop in a moment, but I want to get to that bush baby nest before it goes out. But I'll stop in a moment and we can just listen to it. They're positively deafening. Such a contrast to the quiet place that we were driving around in 10 days ago before the rain. Oh, sorry, lilac-breasted roller. I did not see you there. It's a daytime bird, so we won't be spotlighting it. Sorry, Impala. For our newer viewers, what I'm doing as I'm driving along, every now and again you'll see me swing my spotlight quite erratically and immediately reach for my light switches. And that's because we don't shine white light on the diurnal animals like Impala. Now, essentially what it does, is it detracts from their ability to see in the dark. Kind of like I nearly shone the torch at the camera, but obviously I'm not going to do that. I don't know. That's what I would have done to guests to explain why, if they were the right sort of guests. That's basically, if I were to turn around and shine the spotlight in your eyes, you'd immediately have spots in front of you, you'd be struggling to see. And for diurnal animals, it's not quite that dramatic because they have a reflective layer at the back of their eyes. But if you do hold a spotlight on them or a bright light on them for an extended period of time, you make them seriously vulnerable to predators moving around them because they can't see, they're stumbling about, they'll walk into trees, and they immediately become easy targets. So that's why we do what we do. A quick flash over one of them is not a disaster, you know, holding it on for a little while, but we don't shine directly on them. As soon as we see what they are, we move the spotlight and we leave them to go about their evening in peace. Of course, now, these days, we've got vehicles fitted out with infrared equipment, so we could sit and watch them. They just have to be close enough to the road for us to see them. It's been so long since I've come to this bush baby nest. I think it's around the next corner. Oh, bush babies. Speak of the devil. Hello. Hello. Perhaps I was too late, but that's okay because I got some here. I've got one. I had two. Can you see it there in the sort of the fork of the three? Go right a little and in. There. Well done, Genre. So we might not have found them inside their nest, but we still have a bush baby. Hello, little munchkin. I'm so glad we've had the chance to spend time with them as long as we have. Oh, I lost it. Is it still there? Oh, it is still there. Fantastic little primates. Tiny, tiny little things. The smallest of the primates in this area, and totally. Oh, sorry, Genre. Distraction. I'm like a child. Sorry. I had to control that impulse because one just jumped right up to here. I've lost it now after all that. Sorry. Oh, there. Oh, it jumped. I lost it. I'm like a bush baby. Oh, there it is. It's going to go across the road. Bounce, 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 bounce. Yay! Well done, Genre. Pardon? Gummy bears. Yes, absolutely. And our bush baby's still where it was. I'm so relieved. Sorry, I'm got a problem when there's lots of bush babies around because I never know which one to look at. I know I have to warn Genre when I move the spotlight. I know I do. But my impulse just could not be controlled there. My hand was moving before my brain even caught up with it. Look at you. So at the moment, the bush babies, like our elephants at the start of the sunset safari, or the elephants with Taylor perhaps, will definitely be most relieved that we have had some rain, because that of course means the insects are out and about, and they no longer have to rely on a diet of just moths of tree sap. Now they can supplement with moths and crickets, and perhaps a cicada or two, with their lightning fast grabbing reflexes. They're essentially quite a primitive form of primate. So unlike us, they don't have our amazing opposable thumbs, but that grasping hand motion is one of the first sort of evolutionary advantages of actually having hands. You can see it casting about those massive eyes. And you can see how every now and again it turns across to look at our spotlight, and back to what we were saying before, you can see how clearly our spotlight reflects them. It comes out a beautiful yellow or sort of a reddy color. And that's because as a nocturnal creature, their tapetum lucidums and their rod and cone cells are well adapted enough that we can shine on them without causing any disruption to their eyesight. And the one thing our night drives did over the last few weeks when James incredible bush baby sightings. Oh, look, I think he might be urinating on his hands there. I think it is. Bush babies often urinate on their hands, but they don't sort of just start urinating and then place their feet under it. They just release a drop or two that they put onto their hands, and then they rub on their feet, and then they have a jolly good groom, because nothing spreads one's scent better than urinating on your feet, which is a very weird sentence. His little tail curled around it, glancing off into the darkness. Oh, and a racing scrub hare. It's all happening here on Zoe's road. Well done, Chandra. I wondered where you were going. You're like me at the spotlight. Let's head across to Taylor now that she's making her way home from Cheetah Plains. Find out where she is and how she enjoyed her afternoon.
We just spotted a genet, but it was a very shy genet. It raced up towards that termite mound. Oh, there it is. There it is. Did you see it? It was just in that little gap. I just saw the tail. Now it seemed to have moved off and down to the right. I cannot see it anymore. It's a very thick vegetation. Next time. Now that's the problem with these nocturnal creatures, I'm afraid, is that they are very skittish. But well done, VM. What a great spot. Now the reason why I didn't see that is because I've been catching insects with my eyes this evening. And I don't particularly want to catch any insects with my eye. I was blind, or temporarily blind, for a few moments, and I hope that that insect died in the juices of my eye because it caused me much pain. So I'm driving around with my eyes very squint now, just opening little slits in the hope that my eyelashes will prevent the insects from going into my eyes. Oh, I'm going through a big dip, everyone. Whee! So fast. We don't want to go too fast because I want to check the drainage lines, which are often good areas. But no, it looks like there could be a bush baby, but it's so far away. Oh, now it's gone. It was very far away, I'm afraid. I don't even think you can see the shine of my spotlight anymore. It was so far. Come on, Wendy, we need power to go up here. But maybe we find something else lurking along this wonderful road. Oh, it's still plugged in. Right, so I know Jamie's already told you that we're not going to shine the spotlight or any of the lights onto any of the diurnal animals. Oh, I know what I've seen. Please don't go, Wendy. Okay, I'm just going to rev Wendy. I've got a little beetle. No, Wendy. Can you see the beetle? Racing across the road. Now, that's a really big one. That is a twin spot beetle. And we saw quite a few of them when we were doing the safari marathons. Now, you can see it's got those yellow markings on its back. Now, typically when insects have got yellow, red, orange, bright markings on their body, it means that they could be quite poisonous or toxic in some way. And that's called aposematic coloration. So it's a warning color, especially if it's on a black body. If you see that color stands out quite nicely, and also almost looks like eyes, doesn't it? So if a bird were to swoop down, it almost looks like that back is the face. Amazing technique. That's a really big one though. I don't even think when we were doing our safari marathons and we saw all those twin spot beetles mating, there were none the size of this one. Hey, cleaning its little antenna. Did you see that? Oh, it was lovely. See, they're just giving it a good groom. Even the insects have got to keep themselves clean. It's not just the big and hairies or the feathery friends that we see. Everybody practices good hygiene out here in the bush. Very nice. Right, well, we're going to carry on and see what else we can find along this road. Come on, Wendy. No frogs this evening, seems. It actually wouldn't be a bad night for frogs. It's not too cold, a little bit chilly, but not too bad. Right, just having a quick little scan around here, and unfortunately it doesn't look like we've got anything. One last hope for a frog, but unfortunately no frogs this evening. I hope you all have had a wonderful show with Jamie and I believe you got to see many cats this evening, which is quite nice. So So I shall see you to bright and early tomorrow morning for another sunrise safari. So from VM and I, have a wonderful evening, and I know that Jamie would also like to see you off before we end.
Well, while you were with Taylor talking about Taylor catching bugs with her eyes, poor Gendre took a serious bug to the eye. There was a moan of agony from behind me, and I couldn't see what happened, so instinctively I went, "What?" with the spotlight, and then felt even worse, sort of compounding the matter by shining a bright light at him. Your eyes were closed. Well, that's a good thing. Well done, Gendre. So if his focus is a bit off, his camera works a little, it's just because he's only using one eye. Sorry, Gendre. I'm sure your camera work would never be bad. Would it? Oh, the trials we face. You know, if you're driving along in summer in an open vehicle at more than 60 kilometers an hour, which is, what's that in miles? 25-ish? No, that's not right. 35-ish. 35-ish. You've got to wear protective goggles, or you can actually really seriously do damage to your eyes in summer. I'm not joking, I'm actually not exaggerating this time. You can ask my brother. I've had a black eye from taking a dung beetle to the face, which was again, bizarre situation, and it actually sliced my eyebrow open as well. Now, the large ones are particularly heavy, and they're very solid, and if they're flying at you at their speed and you're going towards them at a great speed, the laws of physics dictate that there's going to be one solid wallop when the two objects meet in the middle. That was my explanation of momentum laws. So if you ever find yourself in a place with lots of bugs and are driving in an open vehicle at high speed, please be very, very careful of making sure that your eyes are protected. What's on my head? There we go. There's these little chaps. Can be a danger. No, oh. It's gone. I don't know why I thought that was going to work by holding a light that the bug is attracted to next to the bug. I don't know how I thought that was going to wind out. At least it was my eye though, and Gendre's. Right, and on that silly note, it is time for us to say goodnight to you all. We're going to have to go and protect ourselves, wash Gendre's shards of bug out of his eye, and see you all in the morning for the sunrise safari. So for now, a big thank you to Gendre for his fantastic camera work, even if he is one-eyed for the last few moments, as well as to Rebecca, Lou, and our lovely Jerry in Final Control, our entire tech team, without whom the wheels would definitely have come off long ago, and most importantly, a big thank you to all of you watching us across the globe. I hope you're excited about the prospects for tomorrow's sunrise safari, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you happen to be in the world. I'll see you tomorrow.